All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we got the legendary, we got Soul Brother V-Luv right here live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
How you feeling? V-Luv in the spot. How y'all doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great this evening, man. We just got a dirty little heat wave going on down here in Canada, man, so just trying to stay hydrated, and most definitely, man, just put together some great interviews, man, this evening. I was really looking forward to welcoming you on the radio station airwaves. So it's good to have you here.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Same here. I'm excited and I'm ready to go, and let's get it popping. Let's get it cracking.
But I want to take you back, man, to the very beginning of your luxurious career within the hip hop community and the music industry, man. And I just have to ask, like, what actually made you decide to get into the music industry initially, man? Because your career is so extensive and the roots are so deep with your career.
Oh man, as for me with hip hop, I just fell in love with it at a young age. When I first seen 30 Styles, which was a rerun on What's Happening, and on the streets of LA, we always used to dance a lot. So my thing was when I seen, the lock-in, I was like, oh my God, I want to lock and pop lock, and I started going into the lock-in first, and then I started learning how to pop lock doing the streets of LA. Always, it's like, this is what we do out here. It was like, it went from dancing to me, listening to the music more so, and dealing with more of what went on then. It was more like, bounce rock music, bounce skate, you know what I'm saying? Funkadelic, all that kind of music. That's what we used to pop to. So that music led into people sampling more, and I would dance more, break dancing, all that, I loved all of it, so it was always intertwined within my youth. I started dancing at 9 years old, so it's been a long travel, and now I'm 52, so it's like since then I've been in hip hop, loving it. I dance, I produce, I do graffiti, I DJ, I host my own radio shows, I do it all. So, and hip hop has just been it's been my savior. I don't know how many other people speak about it the way I would, but not just the dancing, but all of it kept me from being on the streets of LA, which was dealing with, Bloods and Crips and all that stuff. It was real big back when I was young in the 70s and the 80s. So, for me to be able to have hip hop, it pulled me away from all that.
And also as well, man, you were actually a member of the dance group called the Jazzy Boys. I was wondering, how did yourself and the rest of those guys get connected? And of course, what's the story behind that iconic group?
The Jazzy Boys was a group that I came up with. I started the Jazzy Boys at LA High, and we used to battle a lot of different groups out in LA. And it was only probably like a year that we had that group, and it was my boy James Pruitt, a partner which I work with now, Craig Evans, and my boy Christian, and a couple of other cats that were in the group. I forgot all the I know the names. I'm trying to remember at the time, but I went from that group to the Soul Brothers. And the Soul Brothers, we used to battle, the Jazzy Boys used to battle the guy who started the Soul Brothers. So my group used to always battle his group, which they were called the Paisley Boys. And we went from battling them, and I don't know if you know the Far Side, my boy Fatlip from Far Side, he used to dance in a group, and we used to battle his group. So it was like all this stuff used to go on back when we was, when I was in high school, all the little dance groups. Most of us became rappers or producers, and some of them still dance and all that. But the Jazzy Boys it was like maybe a year of a group, like a group we had iconic kind of group.
And I gotta say as well, going back to when you mentioned Fat Lip, man, such an amazing MC, man. We actually interviewed him on the radio station, I believe, last year. And I gotta say, man, such an amazing individual, man. He deserves much more credit than what he deserves, man. So I just want to give him his flowers just during this segment, man, and just actually say, man,
Oh my God.
phenomenal MC.
I was just with Imani yesterday. The day before the other day, Imani Booty Brown, they all used to dance with me. We all used to dance in different groups and battle each other. So it's a trip to see them become great MCs and conquer this, and conquer, for the West Coast, they did a lot. Like, they conquered that skill of really rocking the mic, like MCing. Not on just regular MCing, having to really think about what they were going to rhyme about, because it wasn't something that they just seen happen on the streets. It was stuff that they had to bring up out of their minds and become real lyrical geniuses to bring these stories to the forefront. And Fat Lip used to DJ at my house. We used to hook up every day because he loves to DJ. If you know him now, he DJs. But he used to come to my house because I had turntables in my closet, and we would go in there, and he'd come over and make his little mixtapes, and he's a real dedicated B-boy, you know what I'm saying, MC. Roll around, he used to dance, he could DJ, he do it all too, produce, the whole works.
And also as well, I read that you actually had the opportunity to dance at Soul Train, where you actually met up with Lou Sky, man. I was wondering, well, what was it like being able to dance at Soul Train so early on in your career, man? Because for the individuals that don't know, Soul Train was freaking huge.
Huge. I mean, can I say it? To this day, I'm still like, I danced on Soul Train. Wow. I didn't even feel it then. It happened so fast because I was in the Soul Brothers. We won a contest. So when we won this contest, we used to beat all the groups in our battles. And one of our contests was with Jam City, a group that he used to, my friend, it was a promotional, party company, and they used to do a lot of the battles between all the different dance groups. And we were like the main group that came, and we just conquered everybody. So we ended up winning, long story short, and we went to Soul Train for winning. And that was our winnings proceeds. But I could say, doing that, we met Lusky. And when we met Lusky, that's when we learned about Cuddy Mackin and the one finger shake and Brody's for show shot and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I know you just talked about boy Legendary. I know he explained it. You know what I mean? And he explained it the best. So whatever he said, that's what it was. But when it comes to Ski, he really looked after our careers during that time. He would get us into the major concerts with Naughty by Nature, with all the different artists. He knew everybody from all the different genres of hip hop, R&B. He knew everybody. That's how we met New Edition and ended up working with BBD and all these different people. And we did the Poison video, and we did the BBD Poison tour. We choreographed it. So, Ski had everything to do with that. Ski used to have us on the Soul Train dancing. We would go down the line, and the line would just be like, it was like, for me, it was a dream come true, and I was blessed by God to be able to be on Soul Train while it was going, and have the footage, and especially to meet my man Ski. Lou Ski, he really pushed the Soul Brothers real far and did a lot of things with us. And this was like a little bit before we got with Def Jam. So, yeah, Ski, he really did it. Lou Ski. Big ups. That was shot.
And And I gotta ask as well, man. Did you have the opportunity to actually chop it up with Don Cornelius like before or after the broadcast, man? Because like he was the voice of just television back in the day, man. With the legendary Soul Train.
Man, as for, I don't know if Legend did. Maybe Legend talked to him more than I did, but Dr. Lewis was like in his own little bubble. You know what I mean? By the time we got there, he wasn't too. He would talk to the dancers, but not as much. And when it came to my group, we were a little.
Are you still there?
Hello?
Oh, they're perfect. There you are. My apologies.
Yeah, my phone, in my car, I lost the connection. But yeah, he was a little bit. We were a little bit too eccentric, but he did like us on there because we were the ones who changed Soul Train. We were the ones that, if you ever look at it, it went from suits to baggy jeans and overalls and torn up jeans and polka dot shirts and big shirts and all that stuff. We brought all that stuff to the. It was in videos and stuff, but we were the ones that kind of forced it on Soul Train. So during that change, he didn't kind of like us too much, but he would still let us come there because we were great dancers. So yeah, but I did get to see him. I think maybe once or twice he said something to us when we first got there, but after that we were a menace up there. So I didn't get to talk to him that much.
And also as well, you actually had the opportunity to appear on Yo MTV Raps with Fab Five Freddy. I was wondering, how did that opportunity arise for you, man? And of course, what was it like being on one of the biggest shows on MTV at that time?
Once again, man, that was just like God-given gifts. Like when we met the owner. I forgot his name. The owner of MTV. The brother, the cat that passed away. Well, Delicious Vinyl, they were best friends. So he knew them. He knew the owner from when they were younger. So he introduced us to them. So the first thing he did with all of their groups was put us on Yo MTV Raps with Fab Five Freddy when they first came out. And we got to meet with Fab Five Freddy, he's an icon in hip hop. Like, come on, Blondie. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Before rap was even big, before Run DMC even came out with something, or you know what I mean? It was like, this is when he was dropping. So to be around Fab Five Freddy and meet him, because we did it maybe like 3 or 4 times, I think, that we did Yo MTV Raps. We did Downtown Judy Brown too, and yeah, that was something I'm glad I was a part of it. Just big ups to Young TV Raps, and they put a lot of us on the map. We got to be seen for who we were, and it was a blessing, man.
And also as well, aside from actually MTV Raps and whatnot, man, you were actually in a lot of amazing music videos throughout your legendary career as well. And one of the most notable ones is actually the DOC's video, "It's Funky." And I was wondering, man, like, how did you initially get connected with the DOC and Dr. Dre? And of course, what was it like actually being featured in that legendary music video?
Man, I'll never forget that day. When we walked up there, we had dashikis on. Like, we come like, Soul Brothers out. Like, here we go. You know what I'm saying? We stepped in there. But as for Dre and all the, Easy and all the brothers of the whole NWA, they really looked at the Soul Brothers. Ice Cube. We had already been with Ice Cube before, because when we danced for K-Day, we were dancing for K-Day when we were like 14, 15 years old. So it was like, by the time we had got with them, we were in our 20s, and it was like you know, Dre had already seen us do a lot of different videos, and we had did Young MC's video, Bust the Move, which is a big one too. We worked with Jesse James. We were doing all kind of different people's videos and stuff, and we were doing we were doing Pump It Up and different shows like that. And I guess, like, you know, Dre was just like, oh, these are the Soul Brothers. Like, let me get them to do a part. So he called us in, and we went up and we showed up, like I said. We came at that Dashikis, and they all had Jordans on. And this is when Jordan's gear first came out. So they had the Jordan jackets. If you look at the video, you'll see them in white Jordan suits and all this stuff. And they're looking at us like, oh, shoot, they got the dashikis and stuff on. But we ended up chilling with all the people on the set. It was just the movie people, the video people, the directors, NWA, and us. That's the only people that were there. So that right there in itself, iconic. You know what I mean? Very iconic. Like, you know, I always forget that I did all that stuff. Like, so.
And I gotta say as well, man, that music video is still like being watched all over the world today on YouTube and whatnot, man. Such a monumental song, man. In my personal opinion, the DOC is such a phenomenal spitter, man. Such a lyrical genius, man. One of the best MCs, hands down, to ever grace hip hop, in my personal opinion.
Yes, he is. He was like, man. When I heard DOC, I said, "Who is this guy?" When we first heard the song, we were like, "Oh, this shit is dope." We were like, "Oh, excuse me, I didn't curse." We were like, "Oh, this is dope," and we were like, "It's funky, it's funky," and it was the way he rhymed. It was like some dance song, like hip hop, like reggae. So, you know, it was like, we were like, you know, the beat was banging. You know, of course, Dre, he never goes wrong. That's my brother. And he, you know, he taught me a lot about doing beats, him and Pooh, DJ Pooh, and Easy Mo B, and all them brothers. Big up to them, especially Def Jeff. You know what I mean? He showed me a lot about and taught me a lot about hip hop to the, you know, the technical end.
And you were also one of the featured dancers in the DVD movie Sons of James Brown, man. I was wondering, how did you actually land that role? And, of course, what was it like actually partaking in that DVD film?
That had something to do with just my footage from years and stuff, and being in this group. And once again, I mentioned the Soul Brothers. And if you look us up, you know what I mean? If you ever go to my Instagram, there's stuff up about us, and you can see a little bit of stuff on us, but it's way more stuff. I think we're being a little bit too modest about it, but but all the stuff we did, that part right there, that's how I got into that. And the Sons of James Brown had a lot to do with the Soul Brothers, and that's why we were called the Soul Brothers, because if you ever remember, or if anybody knows anything about James Brown, he was what? Soul Brother number one. So when we first seen him and stuff like that, the artist that my friend Fellas, he started the Soul Brothers. He was the one that said, "Hey man, let's do the Soul Brothers. We're gonna slick our hair like James Brown and wear the 60 suits, and we're gonna come out and we're gonna rock like him, like, you know, like the Blue Flames and all the different cats and Maceo and all the cats." You know, this is where we got our look from at that time, before we started wearing dreadlocks and other stuff. So that's how I got the Sons of James Brown, and it really showed a lot of how we were inspired by James Brown to be who we were, and all the other dance artists that we know from New York, Mop Tops, you know, Scheme Team, all the different dance groups, SWAT Team, the other groups from New York, IBM dancers, the IOU dancers, all them cats were all inspired by James Brown. Prince, Michael Jackson, all of them inspired by James Brown. And that was not only his music was iconic, but his dance moves too.
But also as well, man, every single Friday night you actually host your own radio show titled Delicious Vinyl Radio, man. I was wondering what actually made you decide to actually venture into the radio side of the music industry, and of course, where can we actually check out your show every single Friday night?
Okay, that was like, with Delicious Vinyl, once again, I was with Def Jeff. He was signed to Delicious Vinyl. As for radio, I just really felt like, I was like, I want to do a radio show, and I didn't know how it was going to happen. And I had said that maybe a year before I got it. And I started looking for internet radio shows and stuff, and I just kind of stopped looking because I couldn't figure it out at the time. So I went to an interview like I'm doing right now with one of my friends, and when I went to, he had a station, he has a show on there. I'm trying to remember the name of the show, but his name was DJ Ice. I went to DJ Ice's show, and he had Ed O.G. on there, and I danced in Ed O.G.'s video, Bugaboo. So he wanted to surprise Ed O.G. because, Def Jeff used to do music with Ed O.G. too. So we were kind of a connected group and a family. We were family orientated. And Ed O.G.'s from the East Coast, Boston. And I was up there doing the interview with Ed O.G. and he surprised them, brought me in. And the manager was up there, and I was the radio manager. And I was just like, man, I want to do a radio show about dancing and some hip-hop. And he was like, hey, we got a spot for you. And I was just like, oh, for real? So we came, me and my friend Frankie D, the great Frankie D, he came up and he said, we were like, let's think of a name. And we were like, he was like, Def Eye. And I was like, yeah, Def. He said, Def Eye. I said, Def Eye. What do you mean? Like, okay, I get it. Like, we have a deaf eye. We can see things. So the name of our show is Deaf Eye Radio Show. And we ended up doing this show, and it's been going on every Friday night from 10 to 12 at night on the Delicious Vinyls station on Dash Radio. So you go to Dash Radio, and from there, on 10 o'clock Friday night, my show comes on. It's Deaf Eye Radio Show. You can hear what we do. We talk about, it's about hip-hop. Mainly, we talk about, what, current situations, what's going on in hip-hop. Usually I have beat producers come in, and we just got back up at the station today. Today was my christening back in the station after COVID messed everything up for a minute. So yeah, if you want to check it out, it's on Dash Radio. You can get the app on at the Apple Store, or you can get it on the Google Store. And it's Dash Radio Friday nights. Go to Delicious Vinyl at 10 o'clock, and you'll hear my show, Deaf Eye Radio Show.
And also, I gotta ask V-Luv, man, aside from your radio show, man, what is next for you? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? What was W here live on 97.7 FM?
Well, right now, if you guys will follow me at Soul Brother _BLUV on Instagram, you can get I'm going to be putting up some posts, and I'm working on a beat album. It's called The Pandemic, and the other one is called Beat Therium. So I'm putting out these beat albums where it's just going to be beats on them. And then I have a single coming out with the Soul Brothers, which is me and my friend Craig E. And then I'm doing my wife, which is Ruby Shine. And you can catch hers at Ruby Shine On. So that's Ruby Shine On. She'll be out soon. She's a dope R&B artist. She has vocal skills. I got the beats on deck. I want y'all to come check them out by the end of September. My album, my first beat album, The Pandemic, will be out. So it's leading to the pandemic, but I call it the pandemic.
I gotta say, man, it definitely sounds like a phenomenal project, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. And whenever it does drop, let me know. I'll actually play some of those amazing songs into the station's rotation and get you some of that Canadian radio play.
Yes, I got you, man. Thank you for letting me come on here and rock with y'all, man. That's a blessing.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome. It was definitely an honor to have you on my radio station, man. In my personal opinion, man, you're the definition of hip-hop, man. You helped put together so many legendary projects, and truthfully, you know, I already know we only touch base on like a sliver of your legendary career this evening, man. So hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon.
Yeah, I wanted to see while Craig's in town. The other soul brother, we grew up together. He's doing some iconic stuff too. He helped to do a lot of stuff with me. And he did a lot of stuff. He just got back from Dubai and Egypt, and I just did a video with him called "Peace and Love," which you guys will be able to hear out on iTunes soon. I did a video with him. It'll be on YouTube. It's called "Peace and Love" by C-Mac. So yeah, just I'll link you with him, and you need to have him come talk too. He's an iconic cat too.
Hey, man, most definitely. We definitely can make that happen, man. So if you set it up, we definitely can make it happen. I gotta say, V-Luv, thank you so much again, man, for just giving us a little bit of your time this evening. And definitely have yourself a wonderful night out there on the West Coast.
Thank you, brother.
You are most certainly welcome, man. Thank you so much.
God bless. God bless everyone out there. Peace out.